This, my friends, is pretty sweet. This is a motorcycle tent made by Lone Rider. Many of my viewers are motorcycle riders, and I've received over the years tons and tons of requests to test out this tent. So here we are. For a car camping tent, that's how I'm going to use it. I'm pretty impressed. I like this quite a bit. It's a double wall tent. You have these two huge awnings. There's two ways to enter the tent. You can go in from the side or the back side. As far as the conditions go, it is now raining. It's been kind of just spitting just a little bit all day. By the way, everyone, my name is Luke. This is the Outdoor Gear Review, and this is going to be a very wet adventure. Now this is pretty sweet, my friends. I took this awning here and I attached it to the Land Cruiser. I used some DOD tarp hooks. I'm not really sure exactly what they're called. I had to import these from Japan. They attach perfectly to the Land Cruiser, and they allowed me to easily attach the awning to the truck. With the awning being attached to the vehicle, I can get all of the contents out of the vehicle and into my tent, and everything will stay dry. I'm going to take a pole here and just lift this awning just a little bit, angle it so the water will dissipate. As far as the time goes, it's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The temperature, it's fairly chilly. It's around 40 degrees. This is a cold rain. The low tonight is around 33 degrees. Almost to freezing. Cheers, my friends, cheers. Hopefully you all can hear me. It's coming down pretty good. With this campsite here, I am a little bit conflicted. Like, it's really nice, it's a beautiful spot, but there is garbage everywhere. I thought about not showing it, I thought about not talking about it, but it is what it is. When you go out in the middle of nowhere, oftentimes, unfortunately, this is what you're going to find. Pretty disgusting. I will clean all of it up before I leave, though. I'll leave this spot in better shape than I found it. It's what you have to do sometimes. The good people have to make up for the bad. That's how life is. That's how life goes. Cheers to the good people. While I was making coffee, I went ahead and I set up the Wii Boost, and it's doing exactly as it should. It's giving me just a little bit of cell phone service. The radar is slowly loading here, but we are that blue dot, and all of that moisture is coming this way. Later on tonight, 1-2 inches of rain is going to fall. Already a good half an inch has fallen. This is, like I mentioned before, going to be a wet trip. And I tell you what, I'm having a blast already. Anytime that you go out for a trip, and it doesn't matter if it's a car camping trip, a backpacking trip, there's going to be aspects that you simply do not know. You don't know how things are going to go. There's always aspects that you can't plan for. You do the best you can, but nothing's ever going to be perfect. For an example with this trip, like, the location is nice, but the slope of the terrain here is not that great. Not for a camp setup like this. But it's one of those things where this was my option, or the best option that I can find in a reasonable amount of time. Maybe it'll storm later tonight, maybe it won't. Maybe it's going to rain really hard, maybe it won't. Will this tent leak? There are so many variables that you can't see, and also there's so many variables that you can't control. That's one thing that I find so enticing about the outdoors. I just want to see what's going to happen, you know what I mean? Taking a second to talk about the Land Cruiser, just in case you didn't see the previous episode, this is a 1992 Japanese Land Cruiser, straight from Japan. In the previous episode, I took this thing out for its maiden voyage, and I went over all of the features of this truck, for the most part. Some I'm still learning, actually. It has 129,000 miles on it, and everyone, I love it. It is so much fun to drive. It's a great truck. I really like it. In the previous episode, I spoke of the engine that this has, and I had some questions about why they call it the monster motor, why do they call it the tractor motor, and that's because this vehicle has an inline V6 engine, 4.5 liters. The thing is massive, it's massive. As far as power goes, I'm not sure what the horsepower rating is, but it's not very fast. It has a little bit of torque, but not a whole lot. From a distance, it looks like it's in incredible shape, and it is. But there are some defects here and there. For an example, the fender mirror was missing a cap. I was able to locate one of those from Japan and brought it in. The engine idle lock switch was broken. I fixed that. I discovered what a mystery switch does on the dashboard, and that turns on the fog lights. I didn't even know this thing had fog lights. Very bright yellow fog lights. and they actually work pretty good. They were integrated right into the front of the vehicle. I didn't even know they were there. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting, but it's not coming to me. Anyways, there's some scratches, some small dents here and there, but nothing too bad. Virtually no rust. The rubber that goes around the fenders, it has begun to crack. Some of the rubber that goes around the windows has begun to crack. For the most part, just minor stuff. I saw numerous people asking about where I got this. So I picked this up from an American company called Japanese Classics. They're based in Virginia, not far from here, roughly 6 hours. They have a ton of Japanese import cars, and the company has an incredible reputation. Basically, they bring these vehicles in, they make sure they're sound for the road, they're in good shape to drive. You can get all sorts of interesting Japanese vehicles, including the Hilux. You can find the trucks, the SUVs, and they're fairly inexpensive. I mean, the Hilux SUV is very much like a 4Runner, and you can find those in incredible shape, gas engines, diesel engines, and the price is fair in my opinion for those vehicles. I need to say this, everyone, I purchased this vehicle with my own money. They don't even know that I have a YouTube channel, so there's no sponsorships, nothing like that. I don't do that garbage. You all know that. Since the last video went up, I heard from a number of you all who says that I have inspired another YouTube channel to get a Japanese vehicle. I don't remember the name of who it was. It was somebody I haven't heard of before, but hey, that's cool. Cheers to them. So far, folks, I like this Lone Rider tent quite a bit. There is one big problem with it though. Well, two actually. Size and weight. The pack size on this thing is just massive. And the weight, it's like 12 pounds. Maybe the weight doesn't matter on a motorcycle, but the size definitely does. But as far as this being waterproof, so far so good. This is a really big tent. You can stand up underneath this. It's about 7 feet wide. You can fit your motorcycle inside of this to keep it dry. Yeah, I'm impressed. Before you know it, everyone, it'll be dark out. We might as well go ahead, make dinner. Dinner tonight is going to be awesome. what we have here is garlic and butter rice, chicken with garlic gravy. It smells incredible. It's about to get dark. We got dinner done in the nick of time, right before it got dark. Tell you what, I'm starving. My plan was to come out here and have lunch, but setting up this tent, filming with the rain, it took all of my time, so I didn't have any. Basically, everyone, it has been raining all afternoon. It started coming down around 2. I would say 3/4 of an inch has fallen already. It's been quite hard. While we're having dinner, I want to talk with you all about a previous adventure. So, I believe it was 2 adventures back, I was out for a freezing rain trip. And in that episode, I was talking about advertisements in YouTube videos, not the ones that you see before you watch a video, but the ones that you see in the video, where you have like the YouTuber, they're pawning different products and whatnot. I've mentioned before that this is something that I will never do. Over the last couple of months on some YouTube channels, they had a sponsor called Established Titles. So in a couple of episodes back, I was talking about this and how low that was. Obviously, it was a scam. If you haven't heard of this Established Titles thing before, check this out. So the company claims to have had land in Scotland, and they were selling like a square foot here and a square foot there. So when you bought this land, you would get a title. You would become a lord or a lady, that sort of thing. Right off the bat, I could tell that that was the biggest bunch of BS that I've ever seen. And I was shocked to see some of these well-known YouTube channels pawning this crap. Anyways, in the adventure where I was talking about this, basically I said something along the lines of like how disgusting this was, because obviously this was a scam. Well, I received an email from a guy. He felt that I was being super negative about the channels that was selling this shit. I want to read to you all what I said to him. This was my response. Concerning lowball advertisements on other channels, I'm a bit shocked that you disagree on this point, as most seem to see eye to eye with me here. Anytime a channel is asking someone to waste money on garbage so that they can make money, I'm going to stand up against it. Take the title Scotland topic, which I was talking about in that episode. That turned out to be a complete scam. The story broke the other day that the whole thing is complete garbage, a complete scam. It took people for millions of dollars. I go on to say here that that sort of thing is disgusting and I'm fully against it, as it's wrong. Is this being judgmental? No, it's standing up for what's right. And I don't understand how or why anyone would disagree with that. As far as the Established Titles, you can look all of this up online. It's complete garbage. I knew this, you likely knew this, but lots of people did not, and they wasted millions of dollars. The way I see it is this, folks. I refuse to do sponsorships on my channel. I respect you all way too much than to waste your time. I'm not going to pawn garbage. I'm not going to do product placement. You already watched the ads in the video that are on YouTube naturally. That's enough. I really do think that's something that people need to focus on these days. And they need to ask themselves, what is enough? And you can apply that to just about everything. Ever so often someone asks me what strength and honor means. Talking about what we're talking about here. Strength and honor means not selling garbage to you all. I personally don't see how anyone could see this matter differently. If they do, we're not the same caliber of individual. And I mean that in the most respectful way possible. We all know the difference between right and wrong, and pawning garbage is wrong. Selling crap is wrong. Asking someone to waste their money so you can make money is wrong. It has nothing to do with any sort of religious beliefs or anything like that. It's just about being a good person. It's not all that late, but I decided to go ahead and hop inside of the tent and just chill. The temperature right now is about 36 degrees, and it's a very cold rain that's falling out there. Looking at the radar here, oh boy, that is what's on its way. So right now, this is light. What's coming in later tonight, that is going to be very, very heavy. So far, I have to say that I'm very impressed with this tent, but we'll see how it does with some heavy, heavy rain. I mentioned before that you have two access points. You have a door here, and you also have a door on this side. It's interesting. You might be able to see this, but I went ahead and turned on the heater just to warm up a little bit, to dry off a little bit. That little Covia heater is perfect inside of this tent. I have the door open here. It's open over here as well. So I have some nice good air coming in. We don't have to worry about anything. Folks, I guess I'm going to kick back and relax. I might go to bed, actually. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's see. It is 7:48 in the morning, and it was a good night, all in all. It rained heavily all night long. At one point in time, I opened up the tent and I looked out, and it was just like a river of water. There was just water everywhere. I was able to pull up the radar, and it looks like for the most part the rain is done. We may have like a passing shower here and there, but for the most part it's gonna be dry. It's nice and warm in here. I just fired up the heater. Outside it's rather cool. It's about 33 degrees. I slept really good on the DOD Outdoors sleeping pad. The tent kept me dry. It's blocking the wind. It is a brisk morning, everyone. A few degrees above freezing. All of that moisture in the air just goes like right into your bones. Right into your joints. That's where I feel it. I mentioned in previous episodes that I used to like to box. That does a number on your joints. It does a number on your hands. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I'm some professional or something like that. That's definitely not the case. But I always like boxing. It was a lot of fun. It's a great workout. But there's a reason why most fighters stop by the time they're 40, because they're done. It's the same thing with like being in the outdoors a great deal. You're gonna feel it in your knees eventually. Anytime that you have wet weather like this, you definitely feel it in your knees. In my case, I feel it in my hands, my elbows, and my knees. I find it very interesting watching other fighters and their stances. Everyone has a different sort of stance, a way that they carry themselves. They'll position themselves in a certain way. This one wakes you up, this one puts you back. You really can't see it here, but this leg is back. So when I throw this one, it's all of the weight on my shoulder, bam, just like that. Tap, then punch. At roughly 5 o'clock this morning, I looked out. It was just coming down. There was a torrent of water just going through camp here. Where I set up my tent, completely dry. All of the water went around it. I think that coffee has gone bad. It is too hard. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Coffee time. Last night, I received a phone call from an old friend of mine. I haven't seen him in about 15 years. I haven't talked to him in about 10 years. And there's an unusual trait to this guy that I completely forgot about. And like it just hit me like a sack of bricks when I was talking to him. He has this way of like when you're talking to him, like when he makes a statement about something, it sounds like a question. It's like the way that he like words things and like his pauses, it's extremely confusing. It is extremely confusing. Having a conversation requires a great deal of like focus on like what he's saying. Otherwise, you just get lost. It's really, really unusual. We went down to Myrtle Beach one time. That was fun. He actually quit his job to go to the beach with me. And I remember him like calling up his boss. He's like, yeah, so-and-so, I'm not coming in tonight because I quit. And then we just hit the road. Oh yeah, that's funny. Did you guys hear that? That is the Morganton train. You can actually hear the cars. As far as breakfast goes, I think I'm going to skip it. I mentioned in previous episodes that I'm not the biggest breakfast eater. Sometimes I'll make something, but most of the time I won't. I like to fast in the morning, good lunch, and a big dinner. And of course, snack along the way. Usually because I'm so active, I consume about 35 to 4,000 calories per day. That provides me with energy throughout the day and also lets me stay at the size that I am. In the wintertime, I usually bulk up, so I'm about 170 right now. And it's raining, just like that. I thought it was over, but apparently I was wrong. This has been an excellent trip. It was another good test for the Land Cruiser, which I love. I'm getting accustomed to driving on the right side of the vehicle. It's still a little bit strange. As far as this tent goes, the Lone Rider This is really, really nice. I stayed dry last night. I stayed warm. It's massive. That's the problem with it though. It's massive. Again, it goes back to what I was saying. I don't know if having such a large tent that weighs so much, if that makes sense on a motorcycle. You all will have to tell me. For a overlanding tent, car camping tent, truck camping tent, I like it. I like it a lot. This is an expensive tent though. I bought this on the Black Friday sale, so I got it for a pretty good deal. But normally, I want to say this is like $600 maybe. So far, so good. If you have any questions about this tent, drop them in the comment section, shoot me an email. I will try to address those in the future. I am going to test this out for a long period of time. You all know how I do. With this tent, I purchased it with my own money. With the Land Cruiser, my own money. I get no discounts, none of that crap. I don't do sponsorships. I'm not going to do advertisements inside of my videos. I refuse. Like I said yesterday, you all already watch the shitty ads on YouTube. I'm not going to subject you to anything else. It just doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right. Talking about things not feeling right, inside of each of us, there's something that tells you whether or not something is right or wrong. And for me, pawning crap onto you all seems wrong. I'm not going to do it. And I don't like seeing it in other channels. That's just how I am. You may see things differently. That's how the world works. It is now 9:30, and that means it's time for me to pack up and go home. Breaking down camp because I have so much wet stuff. Everything's so muddy. This is going to take a while. Speaking of that, I'll set a timer and we'll see how long it takes for me to break everything down and get it put up. But yeah, I'll turn the camera off, get that done. I'll bring you all back in just a minute when I'm in the Land Cruiser. My friends, we're off. Thank you so much for joining me for this adventure. It was a lot of fun. Let's see, it took 45 minutes to break down camp and to clean up all of that garbage. I want to wish you all a fantastic day. Everyone, be well, take care, strength and honor. Think about those words. Think about what they mean. I will see you on Sunday and Tuesday with the next reviews, and next Thursday with the next adventure. Be well, my friends. Bye for now.